Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to be sharing with you this MAC face palette. This is from the Shiny Pretty Things Christmas collection and I have got the shade medium deep. I feel like it's been so hard to find swatches of these face palettes. I had no idea which shade to pick up online. I was able to find like arm swatches and that's why I went for the medium deep, my skin tone for reference at the moment. I'm wearing NARS Aruba foundation and I'm wearing Dior 4W. I'm wearing Estee Lauder's Cashew, so those are kind of my foundation shades. For me, for this one, the highlighter looks like it might be slightly too dark on my skin tone, but the bronzer and blush looked far better quality-wise and swatch-wise than the lighter compact. The lighter one didn't look like the bronzer would bronze me at all, and probably the blush wasn't really going to show on me either. So I thought it'd be helpful to me to show you this on my skin, on my cheeks, and how it performs and all that good stuff. And I'm also going to show you the closest dupes for each of the shades that I could find in my collection, and they aren't that close, but they are the closest I've got, so I did my best. So here is the external packaging. It's got a picture of the shades on the back. You know, it's cute, but it is, you know, a cardboard box, so not that exciting. And inside you have the main event. So this is the packaging. It's so pretty. I'm dead. It actually feels a lot weightier and it has a really good magnet closure. Inside you've got a really good size mirror and here are all of the shades. You've got an extra dimension bronzer, extra dimension blush and an extra dimension skin finish. And these are the shades Soul Glow, Carolers and Quick Trip. And I believe they are all like limited for this palette. So I do think I'll have to use a light hand with the bronzer because it is quite deep, but it's nice and like cool toned or at least neutral. The blush looks perfect and actually the highlight looks like it'll be pretty nice on my skin tone, but we shall see. Both of the bronzer and the blush obviously have a very luminous finish. Really no visible glitter at all, whereas the highlight does have visible glitter in it. So here is the closest comparison I have for you. At the top here is MAC's Whisper of Guilt and here is the shade from the palette. So this is the Carolers blush from the palette and this is MAC's Copper Tone blush, which is a very similar shade but much more matte, whereas Carolers is much more of a luminous finish. For bronzer, so this is the shade from the palette and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow in the medium deep palette. Again, not that similar, but the most similar bronzer that I had to compare. The Charlotte Tilbury is much more shimmery. The MAC one, again, is more luminous as opposed to like any visible glitter or anything like that. So far, all three powders in the palette feel very soft. They feel very smooth. They applied very nicely with lots of pigmentation. So hopefully they're going to go really nicely on the skin. They seem to blend out and have a lot of pigment. So I'm going to go a bit steady because I am not, you know, obviously deep skin toned. I'm more sort of medium to tan. So yeah, I'm going to go steady and build up. But they seem to be very blendable and very pigmented and smooth. So I'm hoping I'm not going to have too much difficulty blending them out. So let's get on with putting it all on my face. So I'm going to go in with my MAC 135 and the bronzer shade first. So I'm going in with a really light hand and lots of tapping off. Okay, so actually that's absolutely fine. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to build this up because this is supposed to cater for the deeper skin tones. Okay, so this is perfect for me and really nice and blending really nicely, going on really nicely, and is a really nice bronzer for my skin tone, but I'm not really using a light hand at all now, so I don't think this is going to be particularly effective on a much deeper skin tone than me. I am probably around an NC40 now, and as you can see, this is like a good shade for me. I thought it was going to be much too dark, the bronzer. I was going to have to use a very light hand, and I'm really not. I'm actually building it up quite a bit to get the sort of bronze that I like. It looks beautiful though. The formula is really nice. very luminous and skin-like, but it's not adding texture. There's no like visible glitter. My hair is trying to play me. But yeah, I'd say for me, this bronzer is more for like medium to maybe tan skin, not for deeper skin. I don't see how it's gonna bronze you when it's, you know, just doing a normal job of bronzing me. But that is gorgeous. I'm loving that bronzer. So next up, highlight, and I do feel like this is gonna be too deep for my skin, but I'm now interested to see. So this is my Sigma strobing fan brush, and I'm gonna go into that highlight. There's a bit of kick up actually on this highlight. There wasn't on the bronzer, but the highlight is giving me some kickback. That is nice, and again, it's not too dark for my skin tone. I do think this would look lovely on deeper skin. Like, it works on me. I don't think particularly much lighter than my skin tone this may, you know, leave too much of a cast, but it's perfect currently for me. And actually it looked a little bit, not necessarily chunky, but it wasn't sort of a wet, it was more of a shimmery highlight, and I generally go for more wet, but on the skin it's actually smoothing out a lot and looking really pretty. It's definitely not emphasizing texture. It's also not sort of disguising it, but I don't know a highlight that does that, to be honest. Just gonna try a bit in my inner corners. I'm actually much happier with this palette than I thought I was going to be. I was really unsure if it was gonna be a mistake and it was gonna be too dark for me, but actually the opposite is true, which is good news for me, but not good news if you actually do have deeper skin, obviously. And now finally for the blush, and I'm going to use my Dose of Colours powder blush brush. And I'm going to start off again with a lighter hand. That's so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Just a beautiful finish. So luminous and soft, and they're all just blending out beautifully, these shades. I love this palette. This is like all my shades. Okay, so I've zoomed you in with like a lower light so you can just kind of see everything a bit more clearly. Obviously the highlight is looking really, really nice. The finish of the blush and the bronzer is lovely. It's so soft and glowy and natural, but no visible glitter in the blush or bronzer, just really luminous. I'm really loving the whole palette. It's really beautiful, really pretty. There you have it. That is my thoughts on the palette. I think it's so beautiful. The one thing is I am really disappointed that I just don't see this working on deeper skin tone than mine. I'd love to know if you have deeper skin than me and you've tried this and it works. I really hope that is the case and it can be built up on deeper skin, but I feel like in this case we needed a third palette, because to me this is a medium palette. The other one is like a fair, this is a medium, and I feel like we needed a third palette for deeper skin, because obviously if I'm able to build these shades up and they're all working on me at around an NC40, they aren't gonna work on someone who's an NC50. Apart from maybe the highlighter, I think the highlighter will be fine. Maybe the blush will give a slight hint of color, but the bronzer is not going to work like any deeper than me, I don't think. So there you have it. I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, please come back so I can see you again. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye, 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 bye.